Hey everybody, welcome to the Rhody Sports Show. I'm your host, Ron Roberts. Sorry about the technical difficulty there. I had a little blip in the internet. So tonight we got a great hockey show, and this is awesome because sports have now reopened in Rhode Island. The date is January 4th. Everybody was kind of having a nail biter there, right? And also, wrestling got moved to the spring. So we're still waiting to see how the spring sports play out. A lot of people have been asking about football. I don't think there's any definitive answer on football yet as well. So, but hockey, basketball, and the other winter sports are a go. And tonight we have Bishop Hendricken High School head coach Mike Soscia coming on the show with us, and also Cumberland High School head coach Mark Andriozzi. And this is pretty exciting because we've been doing this great wrestling show, right? And the wrestling shows, we've been bringing coaches on talking about COVID and all the things that the kids are doing. And I'm excited to be able to bring a couple of high-level hockey coaches in Rhode Island onto the show so we can really kind of talk about, the anticipation of the season, how these guys are going to handle COVID, what's going on with spectators and all this kind of stuff. So again, welcome to the Rhody Sports Show. I'm your host, Ron Robert, if you're just joining us. And we're going to bring Mr. Soscia and Mr. Andriozzi into the show right now. Gentlemen.
Hey, Ron.
How you guys doing?
Good, how are you?
Hey, Mike. Hey, Mark. Good. Mark, you good with, you got your audio going?
I'm having a little trouble with the audio. Sorry.
That's okay. It'll catch up.
There it is.
You there?
I'm here. How
yeah,
are you?
We can hear you. Oh, we're great. We're great. Awesome. So this is pretty. I'm actually excited. I appreciate having. I was talking to Mike all week, and Mike helped me to make the connection here with Mark so we could get him on the show. And it's pretty great, I think, to have private and a public school. Things are the same but different, right? And the Interscholastic League runs everything, so I mean, it's everyone's kind of like bound by that, and obviously by the governor and what she's been saying about sports. So, I want to start with Mike. And Mike, obviously there was anticipation. No one really knew what was going to be happening with the season. Can you just give us an explanation out there for the people listening? What's going on? When's the season start? How many games and the whole shebang?
All right. So we just got word this week. We are starting January 4th. Most schools are going to be starting January 4th. Some superintendents are telling their schools that they can't start until January 11th, which is still tricky. We're going to have a 9-game. There's 10 teams in Division I, so we're going to play each team once for 9 games, and we're going to have 3 rounds of playoffs. First round is 1 through 8, I believe, and then we'll have a second and third round. Hopefully, providing that it's we have a COVID-free season.
Yeah, well, so providing that we have a COVID-free season, so some of the other sports didn't have that much success with that. Now, down in the South, obviously Rhode Island didn't get football. And hockey and football are not similar sports, but they're somewhat similar except for the amount of people right on the field or on the ice at the same time. But what do you think about that? I mean, you have helmets, you have pads, you have gloves, you have, all this stuff that has to get sanitized daily.
Yeah, so Mark and I, we have a lot in common because our kids play youth hockey, and we're also we've done all the research, and actually, believe it or not, hockey has not been transmitted. COVID has not been transmitted through hockey itself. There has been a few cases where they're trying to link hockey itself to COVID directly, but it's not the case right now, and there's no direct link of hockey players getting COVID on the ice. They're protected from top to bottom. They have masks. We're wearing masks. The referees, they're using electronic whistles. I mean, the only thing that's not taking place technically is social distancing, but we're not sitting down for more than 35 seconds next to the same person, at any given time. So
right. So it's moving around a lot. And I mean, now let's talk about the padding and everything, the cover up, right? Really quick. Mm-hmm. The difference there is the face mask, right? for the hockey player and compared to like a football player?
Yeah, no, like a lot of the kids have. Well, the kids are wearing if they have a bubble, we call it a bubble or a fishbowl, but they have the bubble. But every kid has to wear a face mask underneath there, regardless of this the face mask they're wearing. So I mean, we're following all the protocol necessary to keep the season alive and keep these kids on the ice.
Yeah. So Mark, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming and joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Oh no, awesome! It's a pleasure. So, what about you guys? What are you guys doing on your end with COVID? I mean, obviously, there's got to be a big talk about it with keeping the kids safe, right?
Yeah, and we're one of the schools that's going to start on the 11th, and which is it is what it is, and we're going to do the things that we need to do. We're going to do temperature checks. We're going to do screenings, questionnaires before daily with them. We're going to err on the side of caution whenever we can. We're going to wear our masks. We're going to keep things clean. Everybody gets their own water bottle. We're just going to continue to follow the guidelines by the CDC, the state of Rhode Island, and obviously the league. And, make sure, and we'll contact trace. If somebody should happen to come down with something, we're going to know how long they were with somebody. And like Mike already alluded to, when we're playing, whether it be in practice or in a game, with the shifts 45 seconds to a minute, you're constantly moving and you're not sitting there for that 15-minute long period talking to somebody or having a conversation. It just doesn't happen that way in the game. However, you still need to be cautious and follow the guidelines with wearing your mask and sanitizing stuff, constantly.
So one of the things that I had a question about, because I know I keep alluding to football because football got smacked the hardest, right? I mean, they've been getting their butts kicked through this whole thing, right? And so the reason I keep going back to that is because, similar, there's like a lot of pads, okay? And you have to wear your pads for practice, right? So and let's just say in hockey, do the kids, are they taking all their equipment home after each practice, and they're going to be the ones responsible for sanitizing helmets, shoulder pads, or whatever, rib guards and gloves and, skates and everything? I mean, are they going to have to be the ones responsible for that?
Yeah. I don't personally have a locker room space that I can keep it in where they can store it and you can run the dehumidifier and dry things out and make sure and spray it down. But, one of the things that we thought of as a coaching staff was to have our Booster Club purchase, the sprays for everybody and, give it to each kid and say, you're responsible.
Like the gun?
Well, no, those are
a lot. Yeah.
No, not that. I wish I had that. I have that at work, but no. Right. The Vapor Fresh or any of those odor eliminator style disinfectants that they sell for hockey equipment, and just have them spray down their gloves and stuff after every practice and game when they lay out their stuff. I've been, we were taught as a young age. Mike remembers, you lay out your gear every day you get home, and so I'm still in that habit. So, yeah. And I'm teaching my sons that habit, but and I have the spray, and I spray down their equipment every time we get home. So go ahead.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off. It stinks that I love having these shows and having you guys on and want to talk about, we're going to get to your teams, we're going to get to your players and all this fun stuff, but this is kind of, unfortunately, it. This is like basically, if kids don't do the right thing at home, the coaches don't do the right thing or enforce it with their teams, like Mike said earlier, any positive COVID cases, I mean, you could see the season get shut down really quick.
Yeah. Well, so I'll jump in if you don't mind. Kids understand. The kids have been off the ice. Like for Rhode Island kids, they've been off the ice for about 3 weeks. So it's, kind of ironic. It is this time. So the kids went on the ice yesterday for the first time in 3 weeks. Now my youngest son had contact tracing issues, so he's been off the ice for about a month. So yesterday was like Christmas coming early to us. The kids were happy. They were excited. They were jumping. They were moving. They were happy to be on the ice. So I think each kid, especially at the high school level, knows the ramifications if they don't follow what they need to do in order to have a successful season. So I think they know what's best. They need to come home. They need to kind of stay away from their friends as hard as it may be. But after the games, they're probably going to have to go home instead of going out, getting a bite to eat with their friends and so forth. Because if they do and they, something happens, it could ruin their season. I mean, it's already shortened as it is. So it's going to be hard, but they know what happens if it doesn't go right.
Right. Now, Mark, that makes perfect sense to me, right? And the kids want the season, and so the parents want to see it, right? The parents are, right? The parents are just, I think you guys understand now. I've been covering high school sports and youth sports in Rhode Island now for like 5 years, and the most interaction I have is with parents. More than the coaches, I've had Mike on my show before. The most interaction we've had is, look at this guy.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm falling over here.
Mark, you're all right. Mark, you're all right. It's fine. So, so how now, Mark? How are your parents handling this? Because I know how the football parents handled it, and I know how I live streamed a bunch of soccer games. They couldn't have spectators. I saw how the soccer parents handled it. It was craziness, right? So what do you think? How do you think that your community is going to be?
I think they're excited. I think a lot of the players were down and early on in the year, just, and I think parents are like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And now, from the high school perspective, they're like, they see a light at the end of the tunnel. They know if we can just get to January, we can start playing. We can start practicing again. Coach can be on the ice with us. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, but they're excited about that opportunity to have a season. And going back a little bit, it's going to be on them as much as it's on the coaches. It's going to be on these players to take care of themselves. We always talk about taking care of yourself off the ice so you don't get sick, you stay healthy, you stay strong. But now it's even more so, not because of catching COVID, but the ramifications of the COVID affect so many people, me, your other teammates, and where it can shut down a team or in some cases a season. Hopefully we'll never get to that point. I know we're going to have blips where a team may have to skip a weekend and we'll have to make up that game. But I think we can get to the end of the season if we as coaches do our job, and our players have to do their job too, about, like Mike already said, you can't, go out on that Friday, that Thursday afternoon when you want to, and, go to McDonald's or, pub, wherever you go and hang out with your friends, because.
Yeah. But do you think that is a lot of responsibility to put on, teenage kids? I mean, it obviously is a lot of responsibility to put on teenage kids, but do you think that it's like, are you worried about that though? I mean, even though you say, I understand that, they, like Mike said, they want the season. They know that if there's any problems that, they're going to have, no season, but do you think does that make you guys nervous to have the responsibility on the kids? Nothing against them. I'm sure they're responsible. I'm sure that, they're happy to have it, but they're kids. And this is like a pandemic. It's just crazy. Anyone?
Go, Mike. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I know that's a tough one. I know,
No, it's not hard at all. It's not hard at all. I mean, some of these kids have played hockey. Well, most of these kids have played hockey since they were 3 or 4 years old. They've been all over the country playing hockey. They've invested thousands of hours. Parents have invested thousands of dollars, up until this point. So for a junior or senior wants to do that, then that's shame on him, and that's not what we want. I mean, and I don't think the parents want that. So I think they understand. They've already been through what have we been through? 8 months, or whatever it is. So I think another month, and it's only a short season. January 4th to the end of February. Yeah. So maximum 2 months. If they've already been through it and they're playing hockey and they're working hard, and what's the end result? Everybody's fighting for that state championship. So I think they understand it. And I think if you have good leadership, the kids will follow along. And I think it's hard. Absolutely going to be difficult, but I think they also understand the ramifications too.
Yeah.
All that time and effort for what? To go have some wings with your buddies?
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Man, I love wings though, Mike.
Yeah.
I know. What do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
I mean, they're not drinking beers, but I mean, a couple beers and wings. It's just.
I hope they're not drinking beer.
So, all right, look, that's enough COVID talk, right? That was serious. That's like, I saw you guys didn't even want to answer the questions. You're both looking at each other like, hey, you want to go? But let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll let's talk about your teams a little bit, talk about your kids, give some guys some shout outs, how you think your season's going to go. You know, no predictions. We're not going to hold anybody to anything, but still, I think that I think we can have some fun with this. So it's been you know, the COVID talk is just tough, especially, you know, I didn't hear Mike say Queen Gina, and so that's like pretty good of him. Mike was
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mike, she's not watching this. Don't worry. There's no way. But yeah, I didn't hear that, so that was good. That was a positive, right? That was a positive. And you know, because sometimes, yeah, but we're gonna go to break, but you know, this is like a pandemic where no one's ever seen before. No one knows how to handle it. You know, we are in was it Time Magazine? We have the top 5 worst governor in the country or something like that. And, you know, so things, obviously we have been dealt like not the easiest hand when it comes to this stuff, but I can only imagine, and I'm not on either side of it, right? Because I'm watching some kids get the shaft, and I'm watching some kids get to skate by. You know, my son lost his senior lacrosse season. And that was tough. You know, he's going to college. He's playing lacrosse in college. So it was like, this was like his, and he lost it. So I understand it all. No, you know, this is not me speaking from the outside in. I'm an insider when it comes to this stuff. And, you know, I still have a hard time really coming down. I was at the state rally for football. You know, I still have a hard time coming down on just one person for all of this. I mean, Rhode Island's kind of messed up as it is, and then we get handed this. It's tough. So, all right, I took the words out of Mike's mouth because I know he doesn't. He wants to be politically correct on the show. But it would be nice if you were a little edgy, Mike. You could go in. If you want to go in, it's good. No, you don't want to.
I'm good. I appreciate it.
No problem. All right, guys, we're here with Mike Soscia from Bishop Hendricken High School, and you know, he's gonna hire us to live stream his home games, which is fantastic. So you'll be able to see Hendricken's home games. Not sure about the away games yet. We're still walking the tightrope on that one, but you'll definitely be able to watch Bishop Hendricken High School live streamed on the Sports Fan Base Network, Rhode Island, and we're proud to be able to do that. Live broadcasters, live color commentators, the whole 9 yards. It's gonna be a real fun time. And we also have Mark Andriozzi from Cumberland here. And when we come back, we're gonna talk some fun stuff now. Hockey fun, teams, players, how we're doing, and all this stuff. No more COVID talk. No more Gina talk. I tried to bait Mike. He didn't take it. Good for you, Mike. You should run for mayor. Good for you. All right, guys. We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back. buy the Cucina di Cafarina pasta sauce. It's better than your mama's gravy. I'm just telling you that right now. Go ahead and fight me on it. 5.0. You're not going to get a better sauce out of the jar from a store than Cucina di Cafarina.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Cucina di Catarina. Oh, I won't be making my gravy because I have Cucina di Catarina. Mwah! Mangia!
After a long day in the woods, there ain't nothing like Cucina di Catarina's gravy. I think I'm gonna try some of this good.
All right, we're back. Coach Andriozzi and Coach Soscia. And you saw Cucina di Cafarina commercials going on in there. You can go to cucinadicafarina.com and order your sauce. And told me drinking the sauce. I did drink it. I mean, that was like real. I chugged the sauce. It was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. We got some other people in Rhode Island chugging sauce right now too, and they're gonna be coming on as well. It should be fun in the next couple weeks. But all right, so we're back, and I want to talk hockey now. No more, no more governor talk. The season's here, coming up. First game's what, like yours was the 15th or the 14th?
Yeah, I think it's the 15th.
15th. And so talk about your team a little bit.
Yeah, we got a pretty solid senior-led team this year. We got a good core of kids coming back. It's going to be different this year because we're only allowed to carry. We're only allowed to dress. You're allowed to dress 4 lines, but only 3 lines can be on the bench. And subs are going to be difficult because the 4th line can't go on the ice until a major injury or in between periods. So it's going to be a little bit different than what we're accustomed to. But besides that, we're led by Harry Giuliano and Nate Palumbo up front. Jack Drowan, Alex Giuliano on the back end. So we're looking for a good season. The boys are excited.
How about your underclassmen? How are you looking there?
Yeah, it's a good crowd this year. Our underclassmen are really good, but it's going to be tough to crack the lineup because we've got a senior-led team this year, which is what we didn't have last year. So it's a lot of guys with experience, and they're ready to rock. So
now this is your second season?
Yes, second season as the head coach. Yep.
Second season as the head coach, and you have to deal with this COVID stuff, which is tough. But what and the other thing I wanted to ask is have you seen anything as far as Bishop Hendricken goes? Has it been tougher with the younger kids now? I mean, with all the distance learning. I mean, kind of like Hendricken, you and I graduated the same year. So you kind of want the experience of Hendricken. You got you're there with all your buddies. How you dress, how you hold yourself, how the teachers hold you accountable, and all the mantra of Hendricken, right? But you're going to Hendricken, but you're distance learning. It's tough.
Yeah, that's a good question. But the boys, they went to school quite a bit longer than most schools. They hung in there as much as they could. So they went every day. Then they went to a little bit of a hybrid system and stuff like that. But for the most part, our senior class have taken a lot of the younger guys under their wing already, and they're good role models. Just like when we were at the high school level, you always looked up to the older guys, and we have some good role models out there. So it's nice. Good. So it's good.
Now, I didn't hear you mention your son. You're trying to be like Are you trying to be politically correct again?
No, actually, no. I got to be honest. With you, I'm pretty proud of my son. He actually.
You should be. You should be.
No, he's a good boy. He's working hard. He's battling through a little hip injury right now, but he's actually a good role model for the kids. He's always texting the younger kids what we got going on, and he tries to keep them as much as a part of the team as anyone else. So it's good. He's pretty proud of him.
Yeah. Does it ever bother you that he looks dead like his mother and nothing like you?
My youngest one looks like me, so we got 50-50. It's good.
Yeah, every time I see a picture of him, I'm just like, it's.
Oh yeah.
Every time. Oh my God, the older he gets too, it's just crazy.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh yeah, awesome. So Mark, what about you guys? How you guys looking?
We're looking okay. We graduated a lot in the last 2 years, so we're pretty young. We only got about 3 seniors, 2 juniors, and the rest are sophomores and freshmen. So, we're moving up a division. Most of my coaching has been either in the 1A or the Division 2, and now coming back up to 1 is going to be a struggle. At least I have a goaltender this time. The last time I got in there, I had to pull a kid off the football field to play net for us. So it was rough. But
that'd be hard to do that in D1. Right?
Well, that's what we did. We got called up to D1 3 years ago, right? Yeah, 3-4 years ago, and I had no goalie. I graduated senior. I had nobody in the net, and there was an athlete who was just like, I'll do it. Never skated before. He threw goalie pads on, and we stuck him in the net. And that's what he played our first year in Division 1.
Yeah. How'd he do?
He did pretty good for a kid who's never played net before.
Right. Yeah.
So we know how hard it is to play up there. We're not as deep as the privates. And but we're gonna work hard and see what we can do.
Now, I mean, you've had a lot of success. All right. So let's preface that by saying, if anyone doesn't know about Cumberland hockey, can you just kind of go down your list of accolades and how you guys are? Or no, well, the last few years then, because you're getting moved up, and that's what happened. I can relate it to other sports that I know off the top of my head. Moses Brown, few state championships in Division 2, and trips to the finals where they lost, but 4 or 5 straight, boom, all of a sudden they're in Division 1, and it's tough, right? So kind of let people know you've had your success.
Yes, we at Division 2 the last most of my thing we've been good. We've been really good, and we've been lucky and successful. We've had undefeated seasons. We won championships. We've been to the finals and lost. So we did do really, really well. And because of that is why we're coming up to play the Hendrickens and the Mounts and the LaSalle's of the world and Moses Brown and all the other teams in Division 1. So it's a challenge, but it's something I think our kids are up for. I think they're and they're excited to play, and I just don't in a lot of ways it doesn't matter who they're playing, they just want to play. But it's going to be hard. We know it, but we're gonna. I think we'll be okay.
So you talked about the last time you got called up, you had no goaltender. How's your team looking this time? Did you graduate a lot last year?
Yeah, we're young. Like I said, our leading scorers are sophomores from last year, and I lost 3 top defensemen from last year, senior goaltender. So, we went undefeated again last year in Division 2. So that's a big loss for us. And, but I got, 3 goaltenders. I got a senior goaltender, a sophomore, and a junior. And so we at least we have, people who've played net before. And so we're happy there. We'll see how we mix them in and get them to play. Like I said, I got some young, hungry sophomores that are leading the way in many ways. I got 2 senior defensemen that this year that, again, going to carry a big load for us. We can't, we don't have the numbers, so they're going to ride a lot of minutes. So
yeah, that's weird because a lot of Cumberland's sports, or most, are D1. I mean, your football team is good. Your wrestling team, right? State champs. Basketball, good. Lacrosse is good. I mean, you guys have been good. Cumberland has some great athletes up there.
Yeah, they do all the sports do well. You know, Mr. Gordon, who created the program at Cumberland, has set a benchmark there in wrestling. But now that he's retired, and it's still continuing. Football, like you said, in Division I does well. Yeah, we got a lot of spirit at Cumberland. A lot of spirit. If you've ever been to any of our hockey games and saw our fans, we have tons of spirit.
Yeah, no, I've seen them. last year versus West.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me about that? That was man. I mean, that was one of the more exciting series that I've been a part of in a while.
Yeah. But last game wasn't the way we wanted it, but it was up and down, and it's what you want hockey to be. You want to work hard, go up and down, and our fans are the seventh player, in my opinion. They are, which is going to be unfortunate this year, but they make playing at Mount fun, I think. So I like it. It's great.
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, yeah, like I said, I just wanted you to be able to kind of let people know how. I mean, we probably have a lot of hockey people watching, and over the course of the next few days, a lot of people are going to come and grab the show and watch it. And, I just felt like you needed to make sure that, you got to talk about your accolades a little bit, because sometimes the first year in D1 can be tough. You have to lick your wounds a little bit. But, I mean, like you said, but Cumberland's always got tough kids. I mean, my sons played at West. My other son, my older son, we used to live in Bristol. He graduated from Mount Hope. And so and he was an all-state lacrosse player. Some of the craziest games he ever played was against Cumberland. Cumberland's always got tough kids. When my son played football at West, and every time we played Cumberland, it was always a tough game. I mean, these kids come heavy, right? Yeah. And if they come and they know how to hit, I'm sure the hockey team's the same way. You guys looked fast to me last year.
Yeah, we were fast, and you need to be fast, especially the players we're playing against and the teams we're playing against this year. Right. Can't be, you gotta be tough. You gotta be fast. You gotta be able to keep up.
What about you, Mike? Obviously you have a lot of good players on your team. I mean, I love Harry. I'm a little biased. I've known Harry since he was, like this, and what do you guys feel like your strength is on your team this year? You feel like it's you're fast, you got good skill players?
I think this is we're in a good spot right now. Last year we were young, inexperienced. We took some licks and we kept on going. But I think this year we're solid from the back end up. We got good goaltending, we got good solid D, and we got some strong forwards. So I think we're going to try to take the put the attack on and just keep on going. I'm looking forward to this year. I was hoping to have to play some Massachusetts teams and so forth to see what we can do against the Mass perennial teams, but unfortunately that's not the case this year.
Yeah, no CM, right?
Yeah,
who would you have wanted to play up there?
No, we had Zavarian, we have Reading.
Yep.
We played Greenwich, Connecticut, and Darien, Connecticut. Pope Francis. Yeah, so we pack our schedule pretty well too, so it's fun and it's a good showcase for our kids. So,
but no CM. I remember Hendricken. You guys used to play CM.
Not anymore. Yeah, we haven't played CM in quite a few years. We've been trying to connect, but it's been difficult over the past couple of years because our schedules fill up so fast.
Now, how's Zavarian?
Very good. Yeah, they beat us up pretty good last year. I think they knocked 3 of our players out of the game last year. Yeah, they just beat us up pretty good.
Yeah.
But, it's big boy hockey, so you got to put up and shut up, right?
Right. Oh, yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, I know. I always used to, Rhode Island, I feel like Rhode Island, I'm talking to both of you, and it doesn't matter who jumps in or whatever, but Rhode Island hockey has a great reputation out there. And you guys really do. And that's been since we were kids, Mike. And maybe even before that, Rhode Island's really known as a hockey state. I don't know if it just And I wouldn't say that it's just because of Mount and, maybe the majesty or whatever that they brought in earlier, and how they kind of carry a name. But, Rhode Island, every time I ever talk hockey, they're like, oh, yeah, Rhode Island, you guys got some hockey up there.
Well, the Mount
Mark, you want to go first?
The Mount Hendricken series in the 80s that was my era, but that was the 5-game series in 88. Just look at the players in 87, 88 alone between the two teams.
Yeah, Goodrow,
Kramer, Goodrow, Emma. I mean, that alone. I mean, right there, Carney, Gart Snow,
Mike
right?
Dunham,
yeah,
Cambio, Capuanos. It's insane.
I mean, all NHL players, and so I mean, that is in many ways that era, from the that late 70s through the through the 80s, probably set the benchmark for Rhode Island schoolboy hockey. And as a kid growing up, that's what you watched. You watch Hendricken and Mount in the finals at Brown. And then over the years, obviously LaSalle and Tollgate always had those teams that were sprinkled in. But I mean, Rhode Island hockey, the way it's situated, and the fact that we're small, I always think that being small, where as when you're playing youth hockey, or playing travel hockey, you probably played with or against your teammates. Like, you play Hendricken against Mike, but Mike and I probably played together on a travel team, in the fall or something like that, or in the summer. Right. So there's such a connection of the players, which I think, adds to the game, because now there's more bragging rights because it's your buddy you're playing across from, and there's more pride you take in playing. And I always thought the close knitness of Rhode Island, the way you play and who you play with and against and all that, always made high school hockey even better. Yeah,
I see that in hockey. I see that a lot of the coaches, I know, through the years of working with Mike on some of my shows and everything, he's always helped me make connections. He's always like, oh, I can get this guy, I can talk to this guy. I'm like, you guys don't hate each other? Because I'm always, there's some sports that it's not like that. I mean,
only for 45 minutes on a Friday or Saturday.
Right. After that, you guys are cool, right? But there's some sports that, Rhode Island's different, obviously, too, because it's small, right? And so everyone's kind of tight. It's almost like, hey, we're battling against each other, but we're Rhode Island. We kind of have to stick together because everyone else wants to kick us in the can all the time for everything we're doing. But there's some sports that aren't like that. But hockey, I always feel like I've seen that where everybody's tight, coaches are tight. It's just cool like that. It's really good. And this, what do you think? How do you think the numbers are with hockey? Some sports are taking hits. How do you think the numbers are at hockey, at the youth level and moving on up?
From what I understand, hockey's doing pretty well. It's going pretty well. We're Marco and I have kids that play for Providence Hockey Club, and the numbers, it's the largest program in the state, and the numbers are pretty well. The majority, I'd say about 90% are from Rhode Island. We get the kids that trickle over from Massachusetts, but we have kids in Rhode Island that go to Massachusetts and play for teams. So the numbers are very good. Going back to the high schools thing, the thing that's different now is that instead of us playing and graduating high school hockey and moving on to college, a lot of the kids now go to, they leave high school sophomore year, go prep school. So, it gives a lot, it's a challenge. The private schools, the public schools lose their players to the private schools, and the private schools lose it to the prep schools. So it's a trickle down effect. But I'll tell you what, anybody that goes to a Brown series, Marco knows you got 3,000 fans. That's something the kids will never forget, and hopefully we can get back to that at some point in time in the in the future. Because the kids, playing in front of 3,000 people at Brown is the ultimate for these kids. I was going to say I never made it there.
You didn't?
As a player,
right,
no. As a coach, yes.
But that's that's what really sucks, right? Like it's almost like playing at Brown. If your team can make it to that point, Thanksgiving Day football games, some of the bigger ones
Yeah.
like East versus West.
Yeah.
It could be 20 degrees outside. There's 3,000 people there. It's
Easily.
crazy. So probably more, right? Probably more. But so and these kids lost all that, and that's what hurts me the most sometimes when I'm thinking about it. How do you help or what can you do? There's not much you can do, but you want people to, someone wrote an article, and I'm not going to say who, about how a certain following of sports fans were being whiny about losing their season, and the parents went a little crazy, right? And the people involved in the sport went a little crazy, but with due cause, if you ask me. I mean, you're losing memories you'll never ever get back,
Right.
and that's the tough thing. Losing, like you said, a trip to Brown, the chance of that oh man, it's just tough. That there's no way that's happening, right?
Nope.
No, it's and that's sad. You only get one senior year. Some of the college athletes were lucky because the NCAA granted that blanket, red shirt where you could, so they could get a season back and have that senior season. But in high school, they didn't do that. So they definitely, it's you only get one senior season. You only get one prom. You only get one, graduation. And it wasn't the same for them. And it's emotionally, it sucks.
Yeah, college can take a year off. They can go back. And every college athlete is getting another year of eligibility no matter what.
Yeah, they get that blanket.
Unfortunately, you're not getting high school.
And honestly, that's hurting the younger kids.
Absolutely, especially juniors and seniors. Yeah.
Right. So, we were worried about that because my son, he got recruited to go wrestle and play lacrosse, right?
Yeah.
And so then all this happened, and then they gave the fifth year, right? They gave the extra year of eligibility. And I was like, what's going to happen, right? Is something – but the percentage of the college kids that actually exercise that extra year of eligibility is really, really small. They're done with school. They're not hanging around to play lacrosse or whatever. They're gone. They're like done. But there's probably a few. But mostly maybe kids that have a chance to go pro. Those kind of kids or whatever.
Or if you want to get a master's,
or if you want to get your master's, you can get your extra year of eligibility. I was nervous about that too. But so far, haven't seen that really affect too many people. Now, real quick, because we're gonna have to get going pretty soon. But I did want to ask this quick question: has that affected any of your kids, Marco or Mike, going to the next level after high school? Has it stopped the recruiting process, even if it was like in juniors or prep school, or has it stopped any of that? Have you seen anyone get halted?
It's not. It hasn't come out yet. We won't see the effects until after the year. It's too early to tell.
So even a kid from last year, right? Like a junior, or a senior from last year, they were okay. Anyone who was going to move on and go do whatever they were going to do, that seemed to be okay. You didn't hear about anyone that lost their spot or had a problem.
Yeah, no, not yet. It'll be next year that you'll lose a spot and so forth.
So is there how? Well, this is a big question, so it's kind of loaded. I don't really want to get too far into it, but are you in your mind, both of you guys, like in your mind, thinking about that, right? You're thinking ahead. Do you have an idea of how you might be able to help your kids when that time comes? Because obviously the head coaches of the teams have a lot to do with the recruiting process.
Yeah, I think you always think about it, but what's happening now, because besides being a coach, I work at a university, so what's going on from a recruiting standpoint. Coaches in college have changed the way they recruit. Everything's virtual. Tours of campus is almost like a Disney ride. You get in the car and the coach is on FaceTime with you and talks about on your left is, it's like a ride, it's like a Disney ride. So that I think with social media and things like that, I think that has changed, and COVID and having the social media has changed the way coaches are recruiting compared to where they normally do. official visits aren't happening right now at a lot of campuses, so it's all done virtually.
Right.
So I think you still you can still guide your athletes through this process, and it's they don't have to really go to the campus anymore. Right now, they can still do it. It's all being done virtually, and through social media. So I think you can always still guide them without changing much at all.
All right. Well, it was fun talking about the teams. It's like this time. Well, I'm going to have you guys back on, like probably not during the season. You're going to be busy. Maybe, probably not. But after the season, we'll have to get back on again and talk about like how the season went. And, you guys will have had, wins and losses and ups and downs. Mike's hoping not to have any losses, probably, right, Mike?
Up to Queen Gina.
I think, wait, hold on. Wait, you say that's a Queen Gina, right? I'm going to remember that next time we get on here. I'll be like, Mike, you got any Queen Ginas? You're going to be like, oh, no. Ron, go ahead. I'm shutting my camera off. Camera.
Technical difficulties here. Sorry.
That is awesome. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on the show. It was a lot of fun.
This was fun. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, of course. And really, like, seriously, thanks for kind of your candor. And, like, I'm sure a lot of people learned some stuff, especially, about only being able to have 3 lines on the bench and all these kind of things. There's going to be a lot of differences in the game. I'm sure that I'll be talking to both of you through the season. Like, hey, what was that all about? It'd be nice to kind of get some info because we're going to really be staying close to hockey, especially, you'll be able to watch Bishop Hendricken's home games live on sfbnri.live when you guys finally hit the ice. And Marco, if you
I will talk to my booster club. Don't you worry.
Well, we got good deals. I'm just saying we got good deals. But wait, let me ask this question: would you guys are all the games are they all Friday and Saturday nights?
As of right now, for at least my schedule is Friday and Saturday nights. If we have to make up a game and we have to do it on a weekday, I have ice that I can do a weekday, provided that the opposing team can make it. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Marco?
I don't have my schedule yet, so.
You don't?
No, I don't have mine. My
that's right. You got backed up a little bit, right?
Yeah. So I think I had a game scheduled against Barrington on the 15th, but obviously starting the 11th, I have to wait 10 days of practice before I can play my first game. So I can't stop playing the game till like 21st, 22nd.
22nd.
So anything that I had scheduled that first weekend, which would be the same time as Mike, I think I was playing Barrington and somebody else. That whole schedule needs to be revamped for me, which in turn may affect other teams depending on, how we fit this whole thing in, this whole schedule in, and provided we'd have no snow days.
Marco, why are you backed up? Yeah,
that's a whole nother hour podcast.
Right. What snow days? What are we talking about snow days? Why? How come Gina is bringing the snow on, Mike? Mike's going to be like, oh, right. I can't. Wait, what? Your mic's not working. No. How come you got backed up?
Cumberland is not. I think they're following the governor's guidance with being remote until January 11th. And due to that fact, our superintendent feels that if we're not able to be in class, we shouldn't be on the ice rink. So, that's the way it is, and I get his point. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait a week and we're gonna hit the ice on the 11th. And
that's
it's just an opportunity. During once the fort starts, we'll do other things through social media, Google Classroom, etc. And I'll work with the players and the team that way, and and then we'll be on the ice together on the 11th.
Awesome. All right. Okay, boys, we're going to cut you out. I told Mike it was only going to be 30 minutes. That's not my fault because I thought you were going solo, and then you brought in Marco, which I appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate you being here.
Oh, come on. This is a blast.
Mike asked me earlier, but I told him I'd get back to him, and then with all the Christmas stuff going on, I got backed up. So I texted him late in the day.
But did you guys enjoy it?
That was awesome. Thank you.
Yes,
Mike,
thank you very much. That was great.
No, good. So, make sure you share it with all the other guys that didn't want to come on the first time. Maybe they were, a little camera shy or something like that. This is easy stuff. We're just having fun.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay.
We'll get you a few goals. We'll get you some coaches next time. I think Dave Antonelli from Moses Brown said he'd be more than happy to do it.
I know Dave. Okay, awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, everyone. This was the Rhody Sports Show with Ron Robert every Wednesday, 7 p.m. right here on sfbnri.com, all Sports Fan Base Network Rhode Island platforms. And launching tomorrow, keep your eye out for it, is our brand new food network, foodjunkies.com. You've seen some of our takeout reports. You've seen some of our restaurant shows. Well, now we're starting a whole food network to go along with our sports network. Keep your eye out for it, foodjunkies.com. Okay, boys, thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon. All right, appreciate it.
All right, happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, Merry Christmas to everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
All
Christmas.
right. I got the tree in the background and everything. I'm not even saying Merry Christmas.